Hey, Bublynn, coming in, crushing this R. All right, we're back at it, and we're talking about Gemini Moon, Aquarius Sun, right? So first off, if we continue talking a little bit about Gemini Moon, this is someone who likes to be a part of new things. You know what I mean? They were brought up in a way, or for some reason, like when they look to their childhood or they look to their past, right? They look towards their re-energy. They find themselves wanting to do more. They find themselves wanting to expand. They find themselves not comfortable with the same molds, right? Stuff like this. And this is simply because it being an air element, because our element wants to be involved with new things. Now, although they do, are coming from a place where they want to be involved in new things, they want it to be relatable. They want it to be on the edges of what's already done. They want it to kind of have a path set out for it. They want it to be like getting the family up and going to the park or something. It's something everybody likes, everyone would love, but you got to make it happen, right? Whereas like maybe a fire sign would like try to get everybody to go cliff diving or like something like this, right? So it's like they want new things to happen, but they want it to be an easy transition. They want to get sucked up into new things and learn about new things, but they don't really want it to be crazy. They don't want it to get to a point where they have to change a side. They don't really want to have to put their life on the line for it. You know what I mean? They just want to have a good time. So that's a little bit about where you're coming from. Like coming from a place where you just want to have a good time. You're thinking at things based on their logical value too, being like a less passionate sign, being earth and air, right? Just thinking about things logically, like what makes sense, kind of like the best thing to a Gemini moon will actually make sense, maybe as a joke, but it'll make sense. So that's a little bit about Gemini moon. Now, if we talk about Aquarius sun, this would be acting in a way that just makes sense. Now, the thing about the moon sign is this person's always getting sucked up into things where it's like, it's not necessarily like, oh, I want to get everybody to go to the park today. It's almost like all of a sudden, like I figured out this lane that we could all like come into. Like I was going about my day, right? And then like this idea hit me, or like something actually hit me and it sparked me this idea, you know what I mean? It's more so a lot of the things the Gemini is going to be interested in are like it's getting called out by the world. It's learning new things. It's not necessarily always. You don't always want to be expanding on where you come from. You kind of want to be like you want to know, you want to be told kind of like where to go in a way by the world, like by nature. Not necessarily like you want someone to tell you what to do. You just want life and nature to like give you a calling, right? Like bring out interest, bring out people, bring out, you know what I mean? And then you'll slowly find what you vibe with within that and then be drawn out. So yeah, a little bit about where you're coming from. You're coming from a place where you want to expand, but you almost want it to be this like co-creation with the world. You want to be you don't want to make everything happen. You don't want to be like crazily dependent on and stuff like this. You just want to be able to join a flow, like all of a sudden get caught up in a nature or being or a situation that other people are doing, right? That's kind of where the jack of all trades, like knower of all, master and none, comes from when it comes to Gemini. Just because of that mutability, always getting sucked out and being a part of other people's things. Whereas Libra is a part of other people's things, but it's other people. Whereas Gemini doesn't really have it, it's other people. And Aquarius is just a part of its thing, and people can be like through its thing. But yeah, that's Aquarius, the sun, right? This is acting in a way that just makes sense, right? You want new things to happen and you want to be maybe a more progressive person. You want to be maybe a more active person. But at the same time, at the end of the day, when you act a certain way, it's because it made sense. It's not because you felt a certain way. It's not because, you may act out of feelings, right? But generally the way that you're going to portray yourself is just going to make sense. You're going to have a backbone. You're going to learn throughout your life why that makes sense, and now and kind of know how to explain that, like, you know what I mean? So you have the backbone, so no one can be like, oh, why are you doing this? It's like, well, X, Y, Z and the third, so that would be that. So now if we kind of combine these two together and think about it, like very airy, right? This person really wants new things to happen, and this person really wants it to be relatable. This person doesn't want to have crazy days. This person maybe doesn't want to be a cliff diver. This person maybe doesn't feel comfortable with too much crazy stuff happening, but they definitely want change. They definitely want to be expanding, you know what I mean? And they want to be expanding in a way that just makes sense, right? That there's just a structure for, but at the same time, they want to be kind of ethereal. They want to be kind of able to jump into any lane. So the first thing that comes to my mind is somehow like some sort of theorist, because Gemini moon, but then where they're always doing the same thing, right? So it's like someone who is just developing theories on the world, right? So they're always acting in a way where they're figuring out, right, the systematics of something, and they're coming from a place where they're just always getting caught up in new things. Like one day I'm like developing theories, or like a programmer or something like that would be perfect. It's kind of like one day I'm programming for you know what I mean, like a gas company. The next day I'm programming for like just the reception service for like a gas station. The next day, you know what I mean, like and then the next day I'm programming a game. Like this kind of thing would more so be the Gemini moon. I'm always getting sucked up into new things, but the Aquarius sun, I have a straightforward, solid, systematic way of going about that. I never have to kind of act in a new way or like find a new tool set, right? But I'm always kind of getting thrown into new worlds, sucked up into something like that. But yeah, so I feel like that's pretty solid. That's a little bit about Gemini moon, Aquarius sun. Hey, Bubblynn, Sitra, beach, out.